stuck in this, But Tom tries to convince Chakotay that Oberst will help them. So he's like, okay, go ahead, send out the message, do your thing, and he wants him to tell Janeway, he says, but he's like, send Catherine my best, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hello. I'm just grasping at straws here with them. Then we get another captain's log. Stardate 51682.2, and that is Wednesday, October 16th, 2374, and it's about 11 p.m. at night. Janeway has formed an alliance there with some other aliens we don't really care about. We don't see them, whatever. They're going to fight the Krenim ship. She's briefing her team about this message she got from Tom. She sends Lana and Kim to one ship, and I assume Seven goes with somebody because I think I might have not wrote that down. Neelix, Tuvok, and the Doctor go to another ship, and they're kind of like, I don't know about this, but okay. You can read it on their faces. She dismisses everybody, and Tuvok's over there on the side, and she's like, I know it, she's like, basically like, I know what you're thinking. And he thinks she should leave, that she shouldn't stay on Voyager because it's a piece of crap now. It's just like, doesn't do anything. It doesn't have any, it doesn't have like anything. Of course, she is like that sort of steadfast captain's going down with the ship kind of person. And they have this little conversation, which I really kind of enjoyed, about how he doesn't understand like humans' connection with inanimate objects. And she was describing to him how Voyager was like their home, and it brought them together, and it did all this and that. And it kind of made me laugh because I name things. My car has a name, so it's like, not only do I form connections with inanimate objects, I name them. So he would really be confused by me. I make no sense to a Vulcan.
I think most humans don't make any sense to Vulcan, so it's okay.
That's fair. But yeah, Chulax is sentimental about the ship and all that, and then he knows she's going to stay, so he tells her to live long and prosper. And then she gives him a hug, and it's an awkward hug, but it's not really awkward on her side because she's just hugging him, but it's awkward on his side because he's Vulcan and, we're not showing any emotion. So he leaves her. Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say that I really like scenes like this where it's Janeway and Tuvok having a moment, because it's very Kirk Spock, which of course is intentional to remind us of that relationship too. But I love when he kind of, there's like a little crack in his Vulcan armor, and you could see the emotions underneath, and this is one of those moments. Like, she's hugging him, she's very emotional as she's saying goodbye to him, and then he like very sort of slowly hugs her back, and it's quite emotional. Like, I get a little teary-eyed when I watch it, because she loves him like a dear friend, and for him to like hug her back, it's just not in his nature as a Vulcan to do that. And so I don't know, I really like this scene a lot when he hugs her back, and she's almost gonna cry, and then she stops herself. It's just a really beautiful scene of them saying goodbye. Yeah, I really, really like scenes like this between Janeway and Tuvok.
Yeah, and I like it then when he just sort of leaves her after that, because she's just left alone on the bridge, and she kind of looks around, and it's almost like, I don't know, like on TV or maybe even real life, the last time you're in your house and it's empty, and you kind of look around and reminisce, and like you can tell that's kind of what she's doing, and then she takes a seat to wait to take out this fleet that she's gotten together, and everybody else goes to the other ships that they're planning on going to. So she picks up on the weapons ship, and she calls to the fleet and tells them to plot an intercept course. And on the Krenim ship, Oberst informs Anarax that there's a fleet approaching. Chakotay kind of stalls a little bit by telling Anarax that, Janeway must know how to defeat you if she's bringing other people, and how they've probably all contacted their planets, so their planets know what to do and all this stuff, like that she's got this big huge plan, and that all of this stuff is happening when in reality they're just trying to come for them, and that they're gonna go down swinging if they have to. But Anarax is just kind of like, open fire, just fire at will, go for it. And I wrote, we see a good old Star Trek set shake.
Oh yeah.
And Janeway falls to the floor, alone on Voyager's bridge again. And Anarax is like, well, we're gonna get her this time. Just aim for the Voyager. We're gonna get it. So Janeway decides, since now she doesn't have any kind of like weapons or anything, she decides her best action is to ram Voyager into this Krenim ship, and then because if they destroy this ship, it should reset everything, is what she thinks. And if it didn't, at least she died trying. And this is where she says her time's up line, because of course it's about time travel, so you gotta throw time in there. Anarax freaks out because he's like, there's going to be a temporal incursion on the ship, and he runs into his quarters just in time to see his Beauty and the Beast replica fall on the floor and shatter, and the piece of hair like fade away, Back to the Future style.
I also do like how on the Krenim ship, like once Obrist like makes that final commitment to like go full mutiny, I really like that, because it was like everybody else was kind of just waiting for someone to stand up to Anarax. So as soon as Obrist is like, no, it's over, like everybody just kind of steps away from their stations, like, nope, not doing it, and it's, I don't know, it's a really great moment, because he's he's finally standing up to the captain and being like, it's done, it's over. Of course, this leads to eventually, Voyager ramming right into the ship and like creating a whole temporal incursion that basically erases everything that he did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot. Also, the boys are transported off before Janeway, runs into the ship. So, so we got our guys back. But yeah, I feel like if I had seen this a long time ago, then whenever I saw The Last Jedi, I would have been like, oh man. Yeah. Although I personally still like that movie. At me if you want to, whatever. But
I do too. Whatever. I think it's great.
Dude, in the last Jedi, when they warp through that ship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, what a scene! Like
great scene.
Like the fact that there's like no sound, and it's just like it's amazing. Like that's one of my favorite like 10 seconds of film in the last 10 years. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. And obviously, like you said, this is the scene where it's like, where she's about to do what she's about to do or whatever. And it's the early version of that, which would be much better if was it J.J. Abrams? Much better if J.J. Abrams directed this.
It was Rian Johnson.
Rian Johnson, sorry. Yeah. So. Yes.
I'm a Rian Johnson fan from that, and then Knives Out, and he's great. Anyway, before I get derailed on Chris Evans in Knives Out and that sweater.
Oh, God, that sweater.
We have a captain's log after that, and it's 51252.3, and it's Sunday, April 28th, 2374, and it's 11 o'clock at night. And hey, we've restarted things. It's gone back because Janeway says the last few weeks have been uneventful. The astromech lab is done again, and they're charting a new course home. The Crinum captain who was in part 1 shows up. This time he's barely even acting.
This guy always showing up as with a different attitude.
Right.
This guy.
Because this time he's like, "Who are you? What do you want? Okay, well, just be careful. Just let you know." Yeah. It's like, what? Anyways, Chakotay suggests they have a celebration because of the new lab, and Janeway's like, "Maybe I'll replicate a bottle of wine. I hear 2370 is a good year, And, oh, yay, everybody's good. Everybody's back to where they should be. Then the very last scene, we see Anorax doing calculations at his desk. His wife comes in. She wants him to have breakfast with her. He's kind of like, I'm busy. But then he's like, I suppose I can make the time because I got to make another time reference. And, so then hopefully this means that he doesn't make the time, Ray, or something. I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to allude to, but hopefully it doesn't happen. But then again, if it happens and then they go through this again, they'll go back to normal again. Anyway.
Well, I think that the message here is that 200 years of calculations and all this tomfoolery and just completely waste of 200 years, all he had to do was kind of just destroy himself in the ship, right?
Yeah. That was also my take on it of is it that Anorax just didn't know, or was it that he knew, or he could have guessed, made an educated guess that if he caused a time incursion and destroyed his ship, everything would reset itself, and he's just that arrogant to think, no, I'm gonna fix it. Only I can fix this thing. Like, which one? You can't
fix it.
Is it?
But I mean, you can't fix it. You just have to destroy your warp core, and it's fixed, done. Like it seems so simple.
I feel like he probably told himself that, that might work, but we're not gonna try it just in case, because they couldn't reverse them. Crashing the ship or just exploding the ship or doing, destroying.
They can only do it once, so it better be the right choice. Do that once.
And then if they can only do it once, how do they know that they've succeeded?
Well, either way, they're not going to know.
Right.
But I will say that even at the very end, even with, he says, "Oh, I could make the time." I mean, when he leaves his desk and the camera kind of pans over, we see he's working on the weapon. He's working on, he's doing his calculations for these time incursions that he wants to do. So, the question being, did this time, did it go differently? Did he make more time to be with his family and appreciate them, and maybe didn't devote his whole life to, this weapon, which ends up obviously causing the destruction of everything that he holds dear. You kind of hope that maybe it took a different path, and it might have, because when it resets, I mean, and Voyager's entering Crenum space, like, they're not greeted by these, like, incredibly jerky, egotistical people who are like, "I'll just destroy your ship and take it as a trophy." Like, things seem okay. So maybe he didn't make those same choices. Maybe he made different choices this time, and it's kind of a, it's always a sci-fi thing of, like, if I could go back in time and, like, change the things I've done and make better choices and all that stuff. But it's a very sweet little time travel ending, which I like.
I'm fighting really hard not to sing Cher. Anyway. Whenever he was talking about his you know,